Hey, it's F. Gardner. This video is going to be F. Gardner's emergency message to Eric Dubay. Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of Eric Dubay. F. Gardner loves Eric Dubay. I think he's a genius. And Eric Dubay has been trying to figure out the answers about the soul trap. Yeah, the idea that we're all being forced into reincarnation. And yeah, that's a rabbit hole I fell down that it took me years to come to the conclusion that, yeah, I think Buddhism is the answer. I eventually became Buddhist. Yeah, like I used to be a Catholic seminarian. I used to be a Catholic school teacher, a theology teacher, and long story short, F. Gardner, over time, F. Gardner became a Buddhist. Yeah, like you can't really disprove when you hear about past life memories, and especially when you hear about like people getting like a life review, like on their deathbed and stuff like that. Yeah, it all syncs up honestly with Buddhism, and it's like Buddhism it's basically the whole religion. It's like about basically escaping the soul trap. Yeah, it's about escape. It's about escaping rebirth, reincarnation. And I've heard people try to explain that in all sorts of different ways. Like I've heard people say, oh, well, the past life memories, like if someone's a Christian, they might say, oh, those are just demons putting thoughts in people's heads. Or if someone's an atheist, they might say, oh, they're just hallucinating, or it's just their brain going haywire and telling them nonsense. I don't know, that's not a satisfactory answer to F. Gardner, no. It's just not satisfying. Neither one of those answers. Because like, even as a Buddhist, if I don't like an answer from a Christian perspective or Hindu perspective, if I really wanted to, I could say, oh, those are just demons putting ideas into your head too. Like, yeah, it's just not satisfying to me. And then the atheist answer, that's not satisfying either. Buddhism, yeah, it's just, okay, what's the evidence? What does it all point toward? And yeah, like I've heard people also like say, well, what about like Gnosticism? Like the whole idea of the demiurge forcing people into rebirth, reincarnation. Well, F. Gardner's pretty sure that Gnosticism just came from Buddhism. Because think about it, Buddhism has the idea of Mara, the devil, and Buddhism forcing people into rebirth, reincarnation. So yeah, it's basically all the main ideas of Gnosticism and the demiurge, that's just Buddhism, just like relabeled, just like different terms and everything like that. Yeah, and it's very complex for how that works out. And I always try to be super concise in these videos and summarize my thoughts. And yeah, in a nutshell, yeah, I think it all points toward Buddhism. That yeah, that's like part of the biggest red pill of it all. And this isn't F. Gardner saying, you, the viewer, you need to go out and convert to Buddhism right now. I'm a pretty live and let live guy. I know people of all sorts of religions, but my honest opinion, what this specific rabbit hole, the soul trap, the idea of people getting forced into reincarnation, yeah, it all points toward Buddhism. Like a lot of Eastern religions have the idea of reincarnation, but Buddhism is the one where it's about, no, this isn't right. You need to escape this. You need to get out. You don't need to be reborn again. Yeah, and that the idea that you're not supposed to be here, basically, that you need to escape it or put an end to the cycle of rebirth. the cycle of suffering and everything. Yeah, Buddhism is basically the religion all about solving the soul trap. And it took me years to fall down that rabbit hole and to finally accept that. And yeah, I've done videos before about like meditative experiences I've had. And yeah, like one particular meditative experience I had a few times, but it's like it got more and more, like more profound each time I had it. I had it a few times, and the last time I had it, I did a video talking about that. I think at the time the video was called "This is the most profound video I ever made." And to summarize that quickly, I was contemplating reality, like, where did all of this come from? And like, how is reality even possible? And eventually it was like an answer. It just dawned on me, like, wait a minute, no, this isn't even going on. This is an illusion, that reality doesn't exist. I don't exist, no one exists, there's no such thing as other people. The world, the earth, everything doesn't exist, period. And yeah, I was already a flat earther then, but this was a rabbit hole that I hadn't accepted yet till, I guess, that moment. Because all of a sudden it was like I was ripped out of reality. I was just ripped out. I was gone, and I'm still gone. Like, Gardner knows that he doesn't truly exist. No one does. And it was like this profound realization that I'm just here as like a hologram. And it's like, this is so complicated. It's hard to put into words, but it's like, I'm like a projection, a hologram or something, to use conventional, like limited human speech, right? And I'm in like two places at once, kind of. And if I focus and everything, well, I always know that. And it was like, yeah, something totally irreversible happened, where it's like, oh, I'm not here anymore. But I never was here to begin with. But F. Gardner didn't realize that till then. Yeah, so, yeah, it's almost like in that moment, Frank Gardner died and F. Gardner was born. And I realized that this is who I truly am. This is what reality really is. And what is it? This is heavy stuff, but it's like, if I had to summarize it in really, whatever, simple terms, I guess I would say reality denial. Yeah, that's like the final red pill. That it's realizing this literally doesn't exist. So like, yeah, I'm a flat earther and stuff, but like, the earth itself, or reality itself, it's an illusion. And it's like, at its core, it's like, well, what would reality be? That it's like potentiality, or yeah, like the potential for what could be, and that it's like, it bypasses a cause, that it doesn't need a cause because it's not real. And it's like this heavy realization, like, whoa, I'm not here, I've never been here. And yeah, Buddhism is all sorts of ways of explaining that, like the Diamond Sutra talks about, like how the Buddha says other people don't really exist. Yeah. And that's really hard to process. And oh, by the way, I'm not claiming to be enlightened or things like that. F. Gardner is still trying to figure things out, but I figured out this much. I figured out that this isn't real. Reality, everything you know that's ever happened to you, never happened. You've never been born. You've never existed. Your family, your friends, your coworkers, whatever, they're just as real or fake as characters in a dream, and so are you. So is your entire life. It's fictional. It's like when you're in a dream, maybe you think it's real, but then you wake up and you realize, oh no, it's fake. That's what this is, or at least it's not that different. Ultimately, not any different, I guess. It's just more convincing than your average dream. At least that's what it feels like right now. Yeah. So, I always hear people talk about, I heard Eric Dubay talk about this. Yeah, like, well, enlightenment, is it like you can become enlightened in this lifetime, or is it you postpone it so that everybody's enlightened all at the same time? My understanding of that is, well, it's like how I said, like other people don't really exist. So it's like that's I guess like a moot point in a way, that it's like that you're helping people, I guess, even though they don't exist. And why would you do that? I guess because it helps your psychological state, that it helps you and everything ultimately, even though you don't really exist either, since this is all an illusion. And I saw an interview, a discussion with Eric Dubay talking to Howdy Mikowski about this, and it was fascinating. And F. Gardner wanted to do a response because Eric Dubay, you've commented on one of my older videos. It was one of my flat earth videos, how I initially became a flat earther. And I wanted to do this. And I'm still absolutely a flat earther. And you're a huge reason of how I got into flat earth and how I fell down that rabbit hole. And I see that you're seeking answers now regarding the this rabbit hole, the soul trap rabbit hole. And F. Gardner wanted to do a video about this. I heard Howdy Mikowski in the video that I watched talk about how, like, the more he meditated and stuff, like he one day he had the ability where it's like he saw through a wall. And I think I know what he's talking about, because I got into like martial arts from a young age, so I already knew how meditation works. And you could sense ki. I think maybe that's what it sounds like that was likely the case, like sensing the life force, ki or chi. There's different terms for that. Prana, vril, all sorts of different words. It's ultimately ki. The ether, that's another term people use. And different terms, largely in Eastern religions. They're talking about the life force that everything has, the ki, but that this is all ultimately illusory, an illusion. And I've talked about this before, and I wanted to summarize my thoughts on this, and in the context of what Eric Dubay is talking about, how he's trying to seek answers. So hopefully I'm providing insight, I guess. Again, I'm not claiming to be enlightened or anything. F. Gardner's trying to figure out the truth himself. Like I said, I've done videos before about my thoughts on meditation, and one of my more recent videos, I think it was a few months back, Panyo Basa commented on. He used to be a Buddhist monk, and I was really flattered that he commented and shared his thoughts. So shout out to Panyo Basa. and yeah, he's a former Buddhist monk, and yeah, he does YouTube videos, and he's part of like alt Buddhism, like you know how there's like the alt right, yeah, alt Buddhism, and he does videos with Brian Rue. Yeah, also shout out to Brian Rue. I love his videos too. Yeah, they're both Buddhist, and yeah, I was thrilled when I saw Panyo Basa shared his insight then. Yeah, so if Gardner's trying to share his insight or thoughts, whatever, to Eric Dubay, because yeah, wow, you've helped me so much. Like, you've helped so many people realize that the earth is flat, and that's just the truth. And wow, that's one of the rabbit holes that people get so mad about. That's part of how you know it's true, honestly. People flip the hell out if you question outer space. If you it's like you try to take outer space away from them, they get really mad. And well, it's just the reality. And F. Gardner respects what people think, but it's like, yeah, the two biggest things, yeah, I guess it's both two things. Yeah, Eric Dubay, you've talked, like, I know one of your videos, one of your biggest videos is about how you don't believe that Jesus really existed. And yeah, that's another one that people get really uncomfortable. It's like that's a hill people will die on and suddenly get angry at you if you question that. Like if you question Christianity, it's not different from when you question outer space and the globe. That people suddenly, it's like a switch goes off. It's like they could be a friend or an ally, whatever, and then you question that, and just all of a sudden, boom, they are furious. Like, what? You're questioning that one specific thing? I don't think anything should be off limits. And I respect, honestly, whatever anybody thinks. I just think, hey, have an open mind. Yeah, don't ever tell yourself that there's something you can't look into. Like, that's when you're gonna stop learning, like, at that point. And I say that with all due respect to whatever anybody believes. If somebody believes the earth is a globe or a triangle, pyramid, whatever, whatever, I respect them. I'm a flat earther, I'm a Buddhist. And yeah, if all of a sudden I encountered evidence of another religion or another theory for the shape of the earth, I would investigate it. I'm not gonna flip out. But yeah, I hear a lot of people say that, yeah, they think flat earth is just limited to like the Bible and the Torah. But no, it's way older. Like you can find it in Buddhism. Buddhism's like you know how I said like how I think Gnosticism got all the ideas from Buddhism, because Buddhism was already around 500 years at least before Gnosticism. Yeah, it's like that like the Buddhist cosmology has flat earth cosmology. So that existed long before Christianity, and it existed even before the Buddha, because it was already around in ancient India. Like the Hindus have that in Vedic like cosmology too. Yeah, Vedic like cosmology, Hindu cosmology. That's also flat earth stuff. Yeah, so like the idea like Mount Meru, the big mountain in the middle of the earth, and the dome. Yeah, that's in both Buddhism and Hinduism. Yeah, so ancient Indian stuff that was around before Christianity, or even the Torah, like you could find that in ancient Indian stuff, early Vedic stuff, that type of cosmology. Yeah, so a lot of people don't know that, and yeah, even more, way more references to like the flat Earth and the dome, and yeah, I guess that just about concludes this. So Eric Dubay, yeah, I'm not trying to evangelize you, proselytize you to Buddhism. You're clearly like super educated, well versed on lots of religious stuff. and I know you don't like follow any one religion in particular, but yeah, my honest thoughts, Buddhism is like the whole religion about escaping the soul trap. Because like I know some people might say, well, what about Hinduism? Hinduism, that also has enlightenment. They call it like moksha instead of nirvana usually. But in Hinduism, it's more about kind of like, oh, isn't like this is all one and this is all great. Kind of like it's all God's will. But it's a bit different because when they say God in Hinduism, it's Brahman, and Brahman, it's more like nirvana because both are described as being blank or without attributes. So Buddhism uses the term empty a lot, especially Mahayana Buddhism. So yeah, it's more abstract. Yeah, not the same as like when the term God is used in a singular sense in Abrahamic religions. And then there, of course, there's the multiple other gods in Buddhism and Hinduism. But the ultimate level of reality, where Hinduism talks about Brahman, Buddhism, nirvana, the idea is the enlightenment, and they're both described as being without attributes in this very abstract state, a holy state. Like with the Tao, Taoism. The Tao, like that term is even used in Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, especially Zen. But yeah, the idea that it's more of a holy state than a deity. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and whereas reality is not really a bad thing in Hinduism, but it is in Buddhism, or at least the conventional, reality. Whereas like the dream is like conventional reality, and then out of the dream is like ultimate reality. Because in Buddhism, there's like the two truths doctrine. Yeah, so the two truths doctrine, it's like, okay, both things are true at the same time, but one is a conventional truth and one's like a fundamental truth, an ultimate truth. Yeah, I think that, the common example is like a dream. Yeah, like a dream seems real at first, but it's not. You wake up and then that's more real. Yeah, so Buddhism, it's all about escaping the soul trap. That's my honest thoughts, and I respect whatever anybody believes. And real quick, I guess I'll give a couple of shout outs. Yeah, because F. Gardner's been touring a bunch of podcasts about his, all my books and everything. Since I write the Horrors Call series, I've got 16 books. Yeah, I was on, this past year or past 6 months or something like that. I've been on, the Rained Out Rantcast. I've been on the Kill Stream with Ethan Ralph. And recently I was on Sam Tripoli's podcast. Yeah, so shout outs to all of those guys. F. Gardner thinks you rock. And again, shout out to Eric Dubay. Shout out to Howdy Mikowski. And who else did I give shout outs to? Oh, right, Panyo Basa and Brian Rue. All of you guys, everybody, you're all great. And Eric Dubay, F. Gardner will forever be grateful for you basically helping me become a flat earther. Like you're probably the best resource to point people to all your books and your BitChute videos about flat earth. Yeah, F. Gardner loves them. Like the movie Level, like how you narrated that and everything. That's incredible. Yeah, I've shown that to so many people. That's probably my favorite documentary of all time, honestly. I loved Level, and your discussions with Eddie Bravo, those are awesome. I love all those. You're probably the single best resource for flat earth specifically. Yeah, so F. Gardner wants to help you out now, since you're looking into and you're trying to figure out the answers to the soul trap. Yeah, I think your most recent video about the soul trap was called Soul Trap Solutions. Yeah, so I guess this is Soul Trap Answers, or at least F. Gardner's Soul Trap Answers. At least the answers that I think are true. I'm always open to whatever, anything being possible. But yeah, this is what I think. That's where I think it all points toward. Well, I hope this has been an enlightening video, everybody. Peace out. Bye.